Please like and subscribe. In the peaceful village of Cedar Hill, two little girls were inseparable, Tia and Jennifer. They were born weeks apart, and from the moment they could walk, they did everything together. Their mothers, Sharon and Mavis, were best friends, and their daughters quickly followed in their footsteps. Tia's life was full of quiet strength. Her father had died in a tragic accident when she was just a year old, leaving Sharon to raise her alone. They lived in a small wooden house with a leaky roof, and money was always tight. Yet, Tia smiled through it all. She helped her mother cook, fetch water, and sweep the yard, never once complaining. Her joy came from moments, laughing with Jennifer, climbing mango trees, and watching stars blink above the village. Jennifer, in contrast, lived in a sturdier house with a father who provided well. Timroy made sure his family lacked nothing. Still, Jennifer never let comfort build pride in her. She always shared books, toys, even clothes, with Tia. To her, they were sisters in spirit. They promised to stay best friends forever. As they lay on the grass staring at clouds, neither girl knew how time, distance, and jealousy would one day shake their unbreakable bond. Tia and Jennifer were 13 when things began to change. Timroy, Jennifer's father, had been applying for work in the city for months. Then one afternoon, news came. He had landed a big job at a hotel in Kingston. The entire village buzzed with congratulations, but for Tia, it felt like a storm cloud had covered the sun. Jennifer sat beside Tia under their favorite almond tree, eyes full of worry. "We're moving in 2 weeks," she said softly. Tia blinked fast, trying not to cry. "Will you come back?" she whispered. Jennifer grabbed her hand. "Of course. I'll write every week. And when you're older, you'll come to the city with me." On the day they left, Mavis hugged Sharon tightly, promising to keep in touch. Jennifer clung to Tia, tears soaking both their dresses. "Don't forget me," Jennifer said. "Never," Tia replied. As the car drove away, Tia stood barefoot in the dirt road, waving until they disappeared. The village felt quieter, emptier, but Tia returned to helping her mother in the cookshop, holding on to their promise and the memories of laughter, secrets, and dreams whispered under moonlight. She didn't know it then, but everything was about to change. The seasons changed, but Tia's life remained steady. She helped her mother, Sharon, in the cookshop every day, rising early to prepare meals, seasoning pots of chicken, and packing boxes for delivery. Though the work was tiring, she found peace in the rhythm of the kitchen. Her hands grew skilled, her heart patient. Jennifer's letters came often at first. She wrote about her new school, the tall buildings, and how different city life was. Tia clutched each letter to her chest, reading them over and over. But slowly, the letters stopped. First weeks passed, then months. Eventually, silence. After nearly 5 years, Jennifer returned to Cedar Hill with her family to visit her grandmother. The village looked smaller now, quieter. She wore stylish clothes and had her hair neatly done, very different from the barefoot girl who once ran through the grass with Tia. One afternoon, while walking through the square, the scent of curry and fried dumplings led her to a familiar cookshop. She paused at the doorway and stared. Behind the counter was a young woman, graceful and focused, her apron stained with stew. It was Tia. "Tia?" Jennifer called. Tia looked up, and her face lit up with shock and joy. "Jennifer." They rushed into each other's arms, laughing and crying. The years melted away in that hug. "You've grown so beautiful," Jennifer said. "So have you," Tia smiled. Jennifer stayed the entire afternoon, watching Tia work. She admired how confidently she moved, how the villagers greeted her with respect. That evening, Jennifer turned to her and said, "Come back with me to Kingston. Just for a while. It'll be fun." Sharon hesitated but finally agreed, wanting her daughter to experience more of the world. With excitement and hope, Tia packed her bag, unaware of what lay ahead. Arriving in Kingston was like stepping into a different world for Tia. The buildings towered above her, cars zipped by, and everything moved fast. Jennifer's house was beautiful, 2 stories, white tile floors, and shiny furniture. Tia was amazed but stayed humble. She offered to help around the house, and Jennifer gladly let her. Tia quickly settled into the new routine. She cleaned, cooked, and sometimes assisted Jennifer in her fashion business by organizing fabrics and steaming clothes. At night, they talked and laughed, just like old times. Tia was grateful, and Jennifer was happy to have her childhood friend close again. One weekend, they attended a high-end party in the city. That's when Tia met Odin, tall, handsome, and dressed sharply. He was the son of a wealthy businessman, charming and respectful. Tia had never met anyone like him. When he spoke, he looked her in the eyes and smiled like she was the only one in the room. Jennifer noticed the way Odin looked at Tia, and the way Tia blushed. A seed of jealousy planted itself in her heart. She had invited Tia out of kindness, but now, something threatened her comfort, something she wasn't ready to. After the party, Odin began calling. First, he asked Jennifer for Tia's number. Then came short, polite texts that quickly turned into long evening calls. Odin was drawn to Tia's simplicity, her humility, and the way she spoke about life back in the village. She was different from the girls he usually met, real, grounded, and warm. At first, Tia was shy. She couldn't believe someone like Odin, wealthy, educated, and so confident, would be interested in her. But as they spent more time together, her walls came down. They went for walks in Emancipation Park, laughed over ice cream, and talked for hours about dreams and childhood memories. Odin even visited the cookshop in Cedar Hill once, surprising Tia with how genuine he was. Jennifer noticed the change immediately. Tia was glowing, happier than she'd ever been. Odin still came by the house, but now his attention was solely on Tia. Jennifer felt invisible, replaced. Her smiles became stiff, and her conversations with Tia grew shorter. In her heart, jealousy boiled. She had shared everything with Tia as a child, but this was something she didn't want to share. And she was slowly building up the courage to make that painfully clear. The warmth between Tia and Jennifer began to fade. Tia noticed it in the little things. Jennifer no longer waited up for her, barely joined in conversations, and stopped inviting her out to events. The house, once filled with laughter and friendship, now felt cold. Jennifer avoided eye contact and often made snide remarks. "Not bad for a village girl," she'd say when Tia dressed up. Or, "I hope you remember where you came from." Tia tried to ignore it, thinking maybe Jennifer just needed time. But it hurt. Odin noticed too. "Are you sure everything's okay between you two?" he asked one afternoon. Tia forced a smile. "We've been friends forever. Maybe we're just adjusting." But the tension only grew worse. One evening, Odin brought Tia flowers and left a small gift at the house. Jennifer saw it and snapped. "He's not for you, Tia. People like Odin don't end up with girls like you. You'll embarrass him." Tia stood frozen, the words cutting deep. She packed a small bag and stepped outside to breathe. Rain poured from the sky, but she stayed there, soaked, her heart heavy with confusion. The friendship she'd treasured was slipping away, and she didn't know how to stop it. That night, Tia stood by the gate, rain soaking her from head to toe. She hoped Jennifer would come out, say sorry, call her back in, but the door stayed closed. Minutes turned to hours. Her heart broke as the realization sank in. She had been put out, betrayed by the friend she once called a sister. Clutching her small bag, she walked through the dark, empty streets of Kingston, unsure where to go. Her phone battery was nearly dead. She thought of going back to Cedar Hill but didn't have enough money for a taxi. Desperate, she called Odin. His voice was filled with concern. "Where are you?" he asked urgently. Within 30 minutes, his car pulled up beside her. He stepped out, umbrella in hand, and rushed to her side. Tia broke down in his arms. Odin brought her to his family's guest house. It was warm, safe, and quiet. He made her tea, wrapped her in a blanket, and sat with her until she fell asleep. That night, Odin saw more than a girl from the village. He saw a woman of strength and grace. Meanwhile, Jennifer sat alone in her room, staring at the door, and slowly regretting everything. Tia stayed at the guest house, and Odin never left her side. His parents, though surprised by her background, were impressed by her humility, honesty, and cooking skills. Tia began cooking meals for the family, and soon, even the neighbors asked for her food. Odin encouraged her to open her own small kitchen, and together, they built a cozy eatery in the city. Word spread fast. Tia's food was magical. Her village flavors with a twist of elegance brought crowds. What started as a humble spot soon expanded into a full restaurant, Sharon's Delight, named after her mother. It became Kingston's most talked about eatery. Years passed. Tia and Odin got married in a beautiful beach ceremony and were later blessed with twin baby girls. Life was filled with love, success, and family. Jennifer, meanwhile, married a flashy man named Calvin who seemed rich and charming, but he was a scammer. He ran off with her savings, left her in debt, and disappeared. Now a single mother with 2 children, Jennifer struggled to find food and shelter. Pride kept her from reaching out at first, but one day, hungry and desperate, she walked toward Sharon's Delight, hoping for mercy from the friend she had once turned away. Jennifer stood outside Sharon's Delight, her clothes worn, one child in her arms and the other holding her hand. She stared at the grand restaurant, glass windows, golden lettering, and the delicious smell of food drifting out. It hurt her pride to be there, but hunger had swallowed her shame. Inside, Tia was managing orders when a staff member whispered, "There's a woman outside. She looks like she needs help." Tia walked to the door, her heart skipping when she saw Jennifer. Their eyes met, one filled with guilt, the other with quiet strength. "Tia," Jennifer said, voice trembling. I have nothing. He scammed me. I was blind. Please, help me. I'm sorry for what I did. You didn't deserve it." Tia stood silently, emotions swirling. Pain, anger, sadness, but also compassion. She gently took the child from Jennifer's arm and motioned her inside. "Come," she said softly. "Your kids need food. You do too." Jennifer broke down, falling to her knees. "I don't deserve your kindness." Tia knelt beside her. "Maybe not, but I didn't deserve your cruelty either. Still, I forgave you a long time ago." Sometimes, true strength is found not in revenge, but in grace. Tia brought Jennifer and her children to the back of the restaurant, where a private room offered warmth and peace. The children ate hungrily while Jennifer sat quietly, overwhelmed by memories and shame. Tia watched her carefully. This wasn't the proud, confident Jennifer she had once known. This was a woman broken by choices and consequences. After the meal, Tia gave Jennifer a small envelope. Inside was money, enough to find shelter and buy clothes for her kids. Jennifer looked up, tears in her eyes. "Why are you doing this for me?" Tia sighed. "Because once, you shared everything with me. You gave me your clothes, your food, your love. You lost your way, Jennifer, but I remember the friend you used to be." Jennifer lowered her head. "I let jealousy ruin us." Tia reached over and gently squeezed her hand. "And now you have a chance to start over." With Odine's support, Tia offered Jennifer a job, starting from the bottom, cleaning and helping in the kitchen. Jennifer accepted with gratitude, vowing to never take advantage again. It was a slow road to healing, but it was real. Two women once torn apart by envy now stood side by side, rebuilding trust, one step at. Weeks turned into months. Jennifer showed up every morning before sunrise, cleaning floors, peeling vegetables, and doing every task without complaint. Many customers didn't recognize the former beauty queen who once lived in luxury. But Jennifer didn't care about appearances anymore. She was focused on rebuilding her life, one honest step at a time. Tia watched her quietly, admiring her growth. It wasn't easy, but Jennifer was trying, really trying. The bond between them began to heal, not with big apologies, but through shared work, small laughs, and unspoken understanding. Sharon often visited and smiled proudly, seeing both girls, now women, standing strong. Odine continued supporting Tia in expanding the restaurant, and the business soared. They opened a second branch uptown, and Sharon's Delight became a household name across Kingston. Tia and Odine's twin girls, now toddlers, often ran around the kitchen giggling, calling Jennifer Auntie Jen. It made her heart ache and heal all at once. Jennifer saved up enough to move into a small apartment with her children. She no longer walked in shame but in strength. She had fallen, yes, but thanks to grace, forgiveness, and a friend who never fully turned her back, she was learning to rise again. Years later, the grand opening of the third, Sharon's Delight, location brought crowds from all over Jamaica. Tia, now a respected businesswoman, stood beside her husband Odine, their twin daughters holding their hands. Reporters snapped photos, and the air buzzed with celebration. Among the team stood Jennifer, no longer the woman she once was. Dressed in a modest uniform, her eyes sparkled with quiet pride. She had worked her way up to supervisor and managed the kitchen with skill and care. Her children, now thriving in school, often visited the restaurant, calling Tia Auntie T. As speeches were made, Tia took the mic and spoke from the heart. This journey wasn't easy. There were losses, betrayals, and storms. But love, forgiveness, and faith brought us here. This restaurant was born from a mother's strength, and a friendship that refused to die. Tears rolled down Jennifer's cheeks. After the event, she hugged Tia tightly. "Thank you, for everything." Tia smiled. "You don't have to keep saying it. Just keep growing." They stood beneath the golden sign together, two women who had once been broken by pride and pain, now healed by grace, and bound again by something stronger than blood. Sisterhood.